You're looking fine, Commander.
セクハラなさるということは仕事が増えるということですよ、艦長。
I mean, the new Reavian uniforms look great. No wonder our service bases our uniforms off them.
そういえば伯爵になったようですね。
Yep, I lost a bet. Something like that. A technicality the Reavian court needed checked off before I could take command of the ship.
リュービアの機関を指揮するお貴族様ではありませんか。すごい出世ですわ。
Had no choice. Our nation's under occupation, the Solar Alliance has retreated back to Farport. Not that they'd help me, considering what I did to their flagship 6 years ago. Right now, Ryuvia is the only backer we've got. This adventure's only just begun.
So.
Yes, Captain, I've reviewed your report on the happenings to date, as well as the ship's logs. With an ancient Ryuvian warlord on the prowl, mindless prototypes, and packed more powerful than ever, it seems I have my work cut out for me. Our first priority is to reassemble the old crew, and we're still missing someone.
素晴らしい。
I'm glad you haven't forgotten, Captain. Lieutenant Kryska Stairs was an exemplary soldier, and she proved her loyalty to the Neutral Rim by standing against the Alliance when they attempted to destroy Sarah. Last I saw her, she was going to turn herself into the Alliance. Where is she now?
艦長。
Captain, you mean you do not know what happened? Only what I've read on the net the past few days. The only source of information I had back on Tydari were pack propaganda broadcasts. I only found out Kryska was put on trial for treason and acquitted a few days ago.
聞いてください。
You missed quite a complicated legal saga while you were on Tydaria. The trial of Kryska Stairs was practically the only story on the news for a while and came to define the Alliance's participation in the Neutral Rim War. Her acquittal was directly connected to the Alliance's withdrawal and PAC's concurrent rise in popularity. How?
報告書を用意しました。
It began 3 years ago with the beginning of then Lieutenant Kryska Stairs' trial. Years ago. Kryska Stairs, get up and get dressed. Today's the first day of your trial. Sir? You were always the model prisoner, not even a toe out of line from the day you showed up here. Listen to me, it doesn't look good. They're planning to label you a traitor. The feds are seeking the maximum penalty. It's true, I fired on my countrymen, and thanks to my actions, the I assume that's supposed to be the Machiavelli. The Machiavelli actual was sunk and countless Alliance lives were lost. I intend to accept any punishment the court deems appropriate without reservation. Hey, doesn't your lawyer tell you not to say stuff like that? I want nothing but the truth to emerge out of this trial. I did not turn myself in expecting to avoid the consequences of my actions. Well, good luck out there then. I know you were just doing what you thought was right. The matter of Kryska Stairs versus the people has been called to order. All rise for the presiding judges. You may be seated. Has the defendant been informed of the charges against her? Benedict Haas, speaking for the defense, Your Honor, yes, she has. And those charges are? D.D. Schwinn for the people, Your Honor. Miss Stairs stands accused of 1 charge of treason, 1 charge of providing military arms to a foreign government, and 1,352 charges of first-degree murder. And how does she plead to those charges? Not guilty, Your Honor. Very well, then. Both parties have informed me they are prepared to go to trial in this matter. Mr. Schwinn, your opening statements, please. Was it you inside the Paladin who pulled the trigger to fire upon Airman Johnson's craft? Yes. And those rounds did hit Airman Johnson's craft? Yes. And that resulted in enough damage to cripple the craft's life support system, killing him? Yes. You held the combined fleet back while the Sunrider approached in a collision course towards the Machiavelli Actual. Yes. Did you know prior to getting on your rider that Captain Kato Shields intended to destroy Machiavelli Actual and kill all hands on board? Yes. And why did he intend to do that? Because I had told him about the tactical paradox warhead which was armed on board the Machiavelli Actual. And did you know that information was classified? Yes. Did Captain Shields coerce or threaten you in any way before you told him of the tactical paradox warhead? No. Did Captain Shields coerce or threaten you in any way before you entered your rider and you opened fire on the combined fleet? No. You entered your rider out of your own free will? Yes. After Machiavelli Actual's destruction, what happened to the rest of the combined fleet? It retreated. Did it retreat because of the overwhelming tactical advantage Pact now possessed with the destruction of the Alliance flagship? Objection. Call for speculation. Expert opinion, Your Honor. Overruled, Miss Stairs. Please answer. The combined fleet fell into disarray with their flagship's destruction. Once the Pact fleet regrouped, it had no other choice but to retreat. It being the combined fleet? Yes. No further questions, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Stairs. You may return to the defendant's table. Next, the people call Commander Edward Storn. Commander Storn, tell us about yourself. I served as chief engineer on board the flagship of the combined fleet, the Machiavelli Actual. My crew's heroism during the liberation of Sarah was noted, and I was a guest of honor at the victory ceremony after the battle. The Machiavelli Actual being the ship which was armed with the tactical paradox core and which was destroyed. Yes. Tell me, when you were at the award ceremony, what happened? The recipient of the Feraldan Cross, Chigara Ashada, drew a concealed gun and shot Admiral Gray at point-blank range. Who was Chigara Ashada? We thought she was a member of the Sarin assault carrier Sunrider, who played a decisive role in thwarting the prototype's control over Fontana's ships, turning the battle to our favor. But she was actually a prototype sleeper agent who awakened right when she was in front of Admiral Gray. What makes you believe that she was a sleeper agent? She shot the Admiral for one. After that, a pair of hunter drones dropped from the ceiling and gunned down everyone in that hall. It was a massacre, and that prototype carried it out. What was her relationship to Captain Shields? Well, she was his lover. Objection, Your Honor. I'll overrule for now. Mr. Schwinn, please elaborate. How do you know the prototype Chikara was Captain Shields' lover? After she shot everyone, I saw the two of them kiss. Order, or else the court will suspend the media's access privileges. Commander Storn, you were in the award hall when the massacre occurred, were you not? Yes. Where were you positioned? Up near the front where all the commanders are seated. Were you near Admiral Gray when he was shot? Yes. How close? Close enough to hear everything. After he was shot, did you happen to hear him say anything? Commander? Objection, Your Honor. He is clearly calling for hearsay. Dying declaration, Your Honor. Indeed. Sidebar, then. The court rules in favor of the defense. Commander Storn, you may answer the question. Objection for the record, the defense never disclosed in their pretrial conference that they would pursue this line of questioning. This is highly irregular, Your Honor, for the defense to conceal such important testimony from the people until the last second. People v. Koppenheimer, Your Honor, the prosecution's rules of discovery disclosure does not apply to the defendant. Well, the witness is clearly hostile. You are free to impeach your own witness then, Mr. Schwinn. Please remind us of your question again, Mr. Haas. Commander Storn, tell us what Admiral Gray said after he was shot. He gave an order. Use the tactical paradox core upon Sarah. Wipe the planet clean of Pact. Order. And what would happen if the tactical paradox core is fired upon Sarah? The entire planet would have been destroyed along with most of the ships in orbit, including many of the combined fleet's ships. Yes. How many people would have died if the tactical paradox core was used? Billions. Order, order. What? What are you doing? Saving your ass. I never asked for this. The people call for a recess, Your Honor. It seems one is due. Then this matter is on recess until the next court date. The revelation that Admiral Gray ordered the use of the tactical paradox core on Sarah sent shockwaves to the Alliance and the rest of the galaxy. Once the neutral rims worlds found out, their trust in the Alliance vanished, and Pact used that to their benefit. That explains all those propaganda broadcasts on Tidaria. This Commander Storn, he was the prosecution's witness, but he turned coat and helped the defense instead. Rear Admiral Storn now. Quite a jump in rank, even in wartime. I'm guessing his testimony had something to do with it. All in recognition of his service to the country, I'm sure. It's just that as soon as the Progress Party took control of the Solar Congress, promotions came onto his lap one after another. The Progress Party. In other words, the party which ran against Admiral Gray when he ran for the presidency under the United Universalist ticket. The Progress Party and the United Universalists, they're the two main political parties in the Solar Alliance. The Progress Party opposed the neutral war from the very beginning, while the United Universalists, under which banner Admiral Gray ran for the presidency, pursued war with Pact. This Storm must have had a deal with the Progress Party, where he gave testimony painting the late Admiral Gray as a war criminal. The Progressives generously awarded Storm with a promotion after they used the political scandal to come to power over the United Universalists. All speculative, Captain. Of course, no evidence of such a convenient scheme has ever been found. So Storm's testimony was enough for Kryska to be acquitted. Not quite, Captain. There was yet another twist in the trial of Kryska Stairs. Welcome back. I hope the break was sufficient to prepare your cases in light of the unexpected testimony last session. Mr. Schwinn, I presume you wish to cross-examine Commander Storm? Yes, Your Honor. Very well, you may proceed. Commander Storm, when you heard Admiral Gray say what you claimed last time, he had already been shot, correct? Yes. And it was a mortal wound? Yes. Did he address his statement to anyone in particular? I can't seem to recall if he ever did. Were his words directed at you? No, I was too far away. Did he attempt to communicate with Machiavelli Actual? Well, he was shot. Did he communicate with Machiavelli Actual? No. So he was merely cursing to himself. I can't... Objection, Your Honor. Called to speculate. Within a layman's opinion. Overruled. Please answer the question, Commander. I suppose he had just been shot, so he could have said it in a state of shock. So it was entirely possible that Admiral Gray did not intend to issue any order authorizing the use of the Tactical Paradox Core. I suppose it is possible. No further questions, Your Honor. Seems the prosecution has the upper hand again. Not quite. Pay attention to what's going to happen next. After the massacre, what did you do, Commander Storm? I knew I had to make it back to the ship. After the prototype was killed, security forces blew open the doors and I managed to escape. I don't remember the details, but I returned back to my post right before the battle. Once you made it back to your ship, what did you do? I went to the command deck to figure out what the hell was going on. And what did you observe on the command deck when you got there? The commanding officer and the acting captain were arguing over something. That is, Executive Officer Glenn and Captain Newsom, correct? Yes. What were they arguing about? Commander Glenn was saying they lost contact with Admiral Gray. It was presumptive that Pact backstabbed us at the victory celebration, so we should deploy the Tactical Paradox Core to neutralize the threat once and for all. But the captain was really frozen in place. I don't think he ever thought he'd have to give that order, so it seemed like he really didn't know what to do. What did you do now? Well, I basically told him I saw at the massacre, told him that the Admiral was dead. Did you tell them about Admiral Gray's last words to fire the Tactical Paradox Core? Never got the chance. As soon as the commanding officer heard the Admiral was dead, he insisted on using the TPC again, and the captain finally relented and gave the order. Did anyone on the bridge receive orders from higher up in the chain of command to deploy the TPC? No. To your knowledge, were there ever any plans to deploy the TPC during the Battle of Sarah? No. Did anything else happen on the bridge? No. Then the captain ordered all hands to get into the battle stations and I ran straight to engineering. Finally, how did you survive to tell us all this? I don't know myself. When the ship collided with the Sunrider, I just remember everything turning red and getting pulled off my feet, spinning to nothingness, then blackness. I woke up 5 days later in a metagel tube with a new set of lungs and nearly half my body reconstructed. It's a damn near miracle I survived. No further questions, Your Honor. Mr. Haas, your move. In light of the new testimony, the defense wishes for Miss Stairs to take the stand again. Very well, this is shaping up to be quite interesting. Miss Stairs, if you will. Sir? Miss Stairs, in light of the new testimony, why did you get into the Paladin that day when the Machiavelli Actual was sunk? Based on what happened earlier in the award hall, I believe the Machiavelli Actual would fire the Tactical Paradox Core upon Sarah, in a desperate attempt to destroy the entire Pact fleet at once. So what did you do? I did everything in my power to prevent that. I even shot my fellow soldiers. I covered the Sunrider as it made its approach to our flagship. And what would have happened if you had failed? Tactical Paradox Core would have been detonated. Sarah and its 8 billion inhabitants would have been instantly vaporized, along with Pact's fleet and an unknown number of our own ships caught in the detonation. Tell us, why did you choose to side with the Sunrider against your own country that day? Because I knew the Solar Alliance I believed in would never permit the use of the Tactical Paradox Core. No further questions, Your Honor. The defense rests. Well, this case certainly did have its twists and turns, however the court has reached a verdict. Miss Stairs, this case is a reminder that all men and women of the Alliance are equally bound to the laws of the Solar Alliance. From the lowest of enlistees to the highest of admirals, we are all judged equally by those same laws. And when we act outside those laws, our actions are without the authority of the Alliance, and those actions cannot be forgiven, no matter how justified they appear. The court finds that the late Admiral Gray never issued an order permitting the use of the Tactical Paradox Corps. Ergo, Commander Glenn acted without legal authority in authorizing the deployment of the Tactical Paradox Corps upon Sarah. Finally, the court finds that all those who followed Commander Glenn's order to deploy the Tactical Paradox Corps upon Sarah were acting without the legal authority of the Solar Alliance. Lieutenant, on that day, you alone acted in accordance with our laws. The court finds you not guilty. This is nonsense. None of this makes any sense. The defense has no further comments. Lieutenant, your comments. Is it true Captain Shields was your lover? What are your plans now? Is it true you plan to run for office? My client is thankful to the court for his decision and continues to be a proud citizen of the Alliance. She has no further comments to the media. No. This is wrong. All of it. A sham. No. In the end, the court's decision was a political one. The court shifted all of the blame by pushing a narrative that the commanding officer of the Machiavelli Actual went rogue and tried to destroy Sarah by himself. It's not like the dead can correct the record, and the court went out of its way to protect the dignity of the late Admiral Gray and tried to win back the Neutral Room's trust by declaring the Alliance leadership would never do such a thing. The Alliance had no other choice but to acquit Kryska, otherwise they would practically be admitting to the entire Neutral Rim they planned to drop the Paradox Corps on Sarah all along. All the various factions within the Alliance gamed the trial to their own benefit. There was no truth or justice, only a zero-sum game played between the Progress Party and the United Universalists to gain power.
そうかしら。
As with politics, though, in the end, both the Universalists and the Progressives spun the narrative to their own benefit. The Alliance fell into a long period of political instability where neither side decisively controlled the government, which allowed Pact to take over the Neutral Rim. What happened to Kryska after the trial?
残念ながら。
She disappeared, never to be heard from again. I can understand why she would disappear from the public eye, but that's quite a problem for us. We need her back. There's so much I'd like to ask her.
提案があります。
To clarify, it was Kryska herself who disappeared. However, I have a good idea where we can find her, physically at least. Ava, what do you mean?
聞いてください。
The past 2 years, I've heard talk of a mysterious Alliance captain who has gained significant political and military influence in the Alliance. She's always clad in full armor and has never revealed her face to anyone. She figureheads a new political faction within the Alliance called the Hawk Faction. They are a group of ultra-nationalists within the Alliance's 13th Fleet who seek total war with Pact. This captain is known only as the Paladin. Suspicious.
そう。
Quite. She was last spotted in the Denari Expanse. The Denari Expanse? That's a long way from the Neutral Rim.
そう。
Yes, Captain. It seems that for once we are leaving our quadrant of the galaxy. With Anjas completely controlled by Pact and the Alliance's absolute defense line at Farport, there's no way we're going to get there. Unless...
素晴らしい。
Indeed, the Ryuvia Canal is our ticket to the Denari Expanse. The Ryuvia Canal. It's one of the last functioning relics of ancient Ryuvia. It's a stabilized wormhole which connects Ryuvian space to the Denari Expanse. A long time ago, the Ryuvian Canal was part of the Iron Route, ferrying millions of ore freighters every day between the Denari Expanse and the Neutral Rim. But after the Denari ore mines were mined dry, the canal was largely forgotten. Now it's a relic of the past, used by a small number of adventurous tourists and spunky merchants. Looks like we're going to have to arrange passage through the canal. Luckily, we happen to have the Queen of Ryuvia on board to get that approved.
よくできました、艦長。
As well as a count. She is never going to let go of that, is she? Well, I'll try to use my countliness to get us to the Denari Expanse then. Let's get to work. Lots of stuff going on at the bridge. So I'm not going to worry about the flight deck stuff until we get into battle. The commanders managed to track down Kryska to the Denari Expanse. We'll need passage through the Ryuvian Canal to get there. You think you can arrange that, Saga? Cap, the Ryuvian Canal is a demilitarized zone. You can't just fly a warship through there. Done. Anything else? You need anything else, Captain? I forgot. Our Queen of Ryuvia doesn't have a care in the world for things like that. Thanks, Asaga. In my time, hundreds of warp gates linked Ryuvia Prime to every major planetary system in the galaxy. To think only a single gate to the Denari Farlands would remain. Most of them were destroyed a long time ago. I suppose the gate to the Denari Expanse only stayed open because hardly anyone uses it except for occasional traders.
艦長
Saga is correct, Captain. The Denari Expanse is far too remote for significant pack interest. It consists largely of barren worlds, mine drive, gray iron several decades ago.
神よ
Ironic, the only gate which survived all this time was the one which is of no strategic use. Otherwise, it was destroyed by some knave who'd rather set humankind back than let a strategic asset fall into enemy hands. The Denari Expanse. I can't say I know much about it. What can you tell me of it? Tip. Sometimes you would ask your crew for advice. Click on a girl to get her opinion or move on by pressing shields. So we're gonna go down the line, guys.
うーん
Traditionally, a small trickle of traders pass through the canal to get to the Denari worlds. Now that the Alliance's blockade Farport, though, the Reaving Kingdom's seen a big increase in traffic through the canal, since it's a lot easier for traders to arrive in the Alliance through the canal rather than through Farport. I'd say there's been quite an increase in Ryuvia's coffers thanks to the increase in tolls collected through the canal lately.
話でもしよっか
The Denari are strong fighters and fiercely independent. They might be members of the Solar Alliance, but Solaris treats them like second-class citizens thanks to the Denari Expanse's lack of natural resources. Still, thanks to their skills and extensive star charts, the Denari have more than held their own against Pact in the war, even without the Alliance's full support.
そう
I know little of the Denari of today, but in my time they were a tributary state of the Reavian Empire. I'm impressed that they have stood the test of time and still retain much of their territory even now. The Reavian Empire subjugated the Denari people in a series of wars, but found them to be surprisingly adept warriors. However, their martial prowess proved no match for the Holy Empire's technological supremacy, and they became yet another slice of Ryuvia's infinite empire. So this is the correct martial for this one. I don't know if they ever fixed the previous one that I pointed out.
うん
Denari Space. Not that far from Diode, where all we prototypes are born. Aside from that, though, I can't say I know much about the Denari. My sisters and I were shipped off to fight in the Neutral Rim not so long after we were born. The only thing I know is that Admiral Kushana single-handedly protected Pact's Denari front while she was in exile during the Neutral Rim War. She must be quite the admiral to have defended an entire front with nothing but a skeleton crew of Pact political exiles.
にふふふ
Can't say I know much about the Denari Expanse, Captain. Well, at least she's honest.
提案があります
The Denari are members of the Solar Alliance and fought alongside Solaris during the Alliance Imperial War 100 years ago. The Denari worlds were rich in gray iron, which was smelted into warships for the war effort. After all, if the gray iron was mined out, though, they were left to live meager existences on their now barren worlds along the Alliance's northern frontier, their contributions to the Solar Alliance forgotten. They sound like quite the warriors, these Denari. Still, I'm hoping they'll be friendlier to us than the rest of the Alliance. Wonder what Kryska is doing out there.
そう
We have clearance to pass through the canal at any time, Captain. Give the word, we shall depart for the Denari Expanse.
艦長
Captain, a moment of your time. Something the matter, Commander?
提案があります
As you must be aware by now, battle doctrine has changed since the early years of the Neutral Rim War. The capabilities of both riders and carriers have grown considerably in the past 6 years. As the saying goes, war is the mother of all innovations. So it seems. I've been playing catch-up the past few days to get familiarized with the latest
聞い
doctrines.
てください
Assault carriers now serve a central role in both deploying and maintaining rider wings in the Neutral Rim. Carriers equipped with electromagnetic launch rails like the Moray possess the ability to rearm and repair riders in the midst of battle by launching replacement parts and ammunition at riders. I'm working on establishing supply lines to ensure that we have steady supply of spare parts and munitions to back up our rider wing. Summon gunship order unlocked. If a rider is ever in need of repairs or restock of ammo, command her to move within the Moray's refit range and she'll be able to quickly refit a rider to the field so it returns to combat at full capacity. Still, we only have a limited number of replacement parts, so it's best to use this ability strategically. Back when I was captain of the Sunrider, the idea of launching spare parts of riders to refit them on the fly would have been absurd. It just goes to show the lengths we'll go to survive this war, huh? Whoa. Rematch with Cosette. So I have a feeling we're going to fight her every single chapter at least once. So I'm just going to pop into these other ones to look around, see if there's anything down here. From the look of it, the devs will tell you if something changed, and I'm going to try to sneak something by, I guess. this. Rematch with Cosette. Let you off easy last time, but now it's going to be a fight to the death. Only one of us is going to walk away from this, so I can totally understand if you wuss out. If you actually got balls, come meet me at Versta so we can settle this once and for all. P.S. Come with just your ship and none of your hired goons. We're selling this one-on-one shields. Yeah, like anyone's gonna do that. Okay, I didn't realize we had that much money. So I was wondering if we could modify the repair part thing here, but, yeah. So I'm going to splurge on the turn cost here, see if I can line up shots a little bit better. So I could fire a total of 6 shots. I max out broadside. So we'll just say that's 1800 damage for simplicity. Yeah, I'm thinking broadside's the way to go. Well, we'll test it out here. If it doesn't work, I'll reload and redo the battle. Yeah, it's still a 20-point increase. I wasn't sure how exactly they tracked it, but yeah. That could be fairly devastating, I imagine. So far we haven't had anything that's able to get behind us. Let's look at the mechs first, before we go crazy there. I don't remember, did I ever fire my torpedoes in that one mission? The previous one? So I'll do this so I can throw the enemy around a little bit. And we'll come back to that one. That is so freaking expensive. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm liking this than the assault. The one thing the assault has going for it is you can get it down to 20 energy. Yeah, I'm gonna worry about that later. So the advantage to the pulse, I'm thinking, is we can go into this, and then the assault if this truly does shred armor permanently. And then I don't know if it's one armor shred per pulse round or per volley. That they don't really tell you. Doing this so we at least get a little bit of bang for our buck, so to speak. So if we went the energy drain, it would drain 5 potentially per shot, and then you can increase the number of shots here. So that would be 10. I don't know, maybe like long-term the disruptor would be better. Once again, it's one of those things where we'll test it here. We don't know how big the battery of some of these coming enemies are going to be. It's only a 50-point increase. That sucks. So yeah, I'm willing to throw a point in here. There's gonna come a time where I'm gonna need that, so I probably should look into boosting it for the next fight. So let's see real quick. We can drop this by 40 points, so that'll put it at 50. So it's possible to awaken and immediately fire. Or basically shoot and then revert. So that's 300. So I get my next damage boost by leveling this up twice. Now that I think about it, I could have set this up for that one fight with the or the Pact Riders. Basically, put a point into here, point into here. So there's nothing we can do to lower the cost on that. Yeah, there's so many things I can go into. I want to test this fight, though. Now that I think about it, this would actually be really good for battleships. Yeah. Because I may not keep this if it doesn't pay off. And we'll give this other one to her. But that's good enough. Basically, if a Saga's armor meld thing only applies to her or that turn or something along those lines, I think the Disruptor is just going to be more valuable for crippling the enemy's capacity. You'll basically have two characters who are able to somewhat incapacitate foes with Lynn's Disable and a Saga's Disruptor. But the thing is, flat out killing the enemy usually is better CC. Well, the saying is CC is death is the ultimate CC. We'll test that. We've arrived at the marked position, Captain. We are being hailed. Captain, it seems like you managed to reunite with your childhood friend. Good, good. I'll have to torture her slowly once I get my hands on her just to see you lose your mind. Can we just get this started, Cosette? I've got a lot of other things to attend to. You fuck. You think this is just a joke? Well, I've got bad news for you. I took the liberty of tipping Pact off that you're going to be here. There's no way you'll be able to take us all on. So much for settling things one-on-one. I'm a pirate. You should have known I was lying. Of course, this doesn't have frontal armor. This does. So I need to test a Saga on this. Now, the thing is, they do have frontal armor, so we'll get the opportunity.
命令は
It sucks that you can't reposition these guys. Choose defensive formation and such.
目的地へ移動中。目覚めよ。
Trebuchet is a go.
ボタンを押せばいいですよね。猫耳をつけました。
So notice they
こ
have
れで敵さんも集
110
中で
energy.
きないでしょ。デッキのプラグ
If a
スイッ
Saga
チ
is
緊急
able
避
to
難プ
take
ログラムを
off
発動
just
させました。
50,
デッキのプラ
that
グ
would
スイッチ
still be
緊急避難
largely
プログラムを
significant.
発動させました。デッキのプラグスーツ緊急避難プログラムを発動させ、みんなが大好きなクロードちゃんだよ。
Let's try to read. There we go.
キャンセルストップ取り消し。こちらドミネーター。今だ、やれシールズ。
Well, we have to move
こちら
this
ドミ
one
ネーター。
first.
こちらフィニックス。
Looking for 2 points of evasion.
フィニックス出動。
聞こえるよシールズ。目的地へ移動中。人暴れすればいいよね。ハイローラー出撃。
この船まで墜落させないでください、艦長。
Trying to crash the ship too, Captain.
直進、4ソロ。
Let's see. I don't know how you summon these gunships. It's possible you just don't have access to it in this fight. It's not going to end well for them. Heat, I forgot to point out their names. The one was Patches. Lights. He's about to get lights out. Disrespectful. Dodge. So we've seen that name before. Yeah. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that one. Ghost Bang. Interesting name. Bukba. And Jinx.
Rematch. 狙撃開始。ターゲット消滅。ターゲットロック。ターゲット消滅。
So they don't have a very good opinion for him, I'm afraid.
ターゲットはエンジンを回せ。
Should be good enough. It has 3 HP left. I think we're gonna disable that just for
聞こえるよ
her
シールズ。
protection.
敵システムの無効化に成功した。なんすか艦長。イエスサーキャプテン。
Promise that won't be a death blow to this guy.
クロード先生が参りましたよ。トラクタービームで敵さんを拘束しました。はーい、聞こえてるよ。
Yeah, we'll test it real quick.
はい、山盛り。まだまだこれからよ。
So yeah, that shredded the armor. It lived up to its name.
ライトアップタイム。一匹ゲット。イカのサーカ
いつでも行けます艦長。サブライトエンジン起動。
Looking for a good laser target. Won't be a death blow on that anyway. So the question is, can I get over here with my remaining point? And the answer is no.
レーザー攻撃標的外れ。
Overall, it didn't really matter if that connected or not. Since that's gonna live, we will use distract on
テ
it.
ック通信設備を使ってアリソンを放送しました。猫耳をつけました。これで敵さんも
So I
集
wonder if she's
中
gonna
で
have
きないでしょ。
reinforcements pop in, or if this is just gonna be a short
直
fight.
撃。
That's annoying.
圧力放出中。敵に追われている。
Oh, that is a load of bullshit.
助けて。艦長さん、救急くれ。艦長様。 はい。
Like, is there actually a minimum range on this?
敵を狙撃する。ターゲット消滅。ターゲットロック。ターゲット消滅。
こちらドミネーター。システム最適化発動。修理開始。
昔みたいにね、艦長。ファイヤーとウィル。うわー、敵撃沈。
Melee won't reach.
ターゲットロックオン。ミサイル一気。はい、守り一丁。まだまだこれから
Just
よ。
needs a little bit more before that one's incapped.
ちらハイローラーライトウェイキャプテン。
対命中です。
First of all, do I have firing arcs? No, I don't. So we're looking for 90.
Okay, Captain. トラックネット構築。敵に損傷あり。
Yeah, I'll just test that next turn.
主砲敵機撃沈。準備 OK。指定座標へ向かってる。ちょっと消えてくる。
スペルキャスターさあ、
Okay, that one's still down.
間違って敵さんのエロ映像コレクションをダウンロードしてしよし、これで敵さんのモニターにバニーガールを映らせよっと。5分祭お届けします。命令を。ロック着弾成功。排除着弾成功。
いつでも行けます艦長。
Sadly, it's not enough to get through.
ヒーロー参上。はい山盛り。うわー敵機撃沈。
対命中です。このまま進め。敵側全訪問着弾確保。もっともっといく。以下一匹撃墜。
待機中。奴らのセンサーを切って。
でここからはエンジンを回せ。必殺の一撃だ。
貴様の機嫌取りなんか絶対にしないからね。はい。
Get off.
移動中。修理の仕事か。システム最適化発動。
対命中です。サブライトエンジン起動。
Yeah.
目標捕捉敵に損傷あり。目標捕捉デッキが撃沈しました。
So yeah, I'm thinking broadside's definitely the way to go there. Yeah, she wasn't worth that much. How did you... Keeping grudges is bad for your health, Cosette. Why don't we play nice with each other from now on?
絶対てめえを後悔させてやる。
I never even invited you. You better sleep with one eye open now, because I'm gonna nail you when you least expect it. So she is interested in joining the harem? Wait, that reminds me. Battlefield tactics keep yourself safe at all costs. Yes, I remember. All guard order unlocked. Until next time, Shields.
信じられません。
Pirates are retreating, Captain. Somehow I get the feeling we've only begun to deal with them. So before we go any further, I just want to look. So it takes off 2 armor per shot. We don't have a way to increase the shots here, so it's a maximum of 20 points of armor shred. So if I can get all the pulse rounds to connect, it's going to strip the armor off of literally anything we encounter. So because of that, I think there's a reason to boost accuracy. So yeah, 5 and 20. My main concern with the disruptor is I don't know what it's going to look like when we finally encounter shields. Because that's going to be the problem we run into with Incinerate also. I don't know, I'm gonna have to give it some thought off camera. Anyway, I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.